a lot of times I'll feel uncomfortable, like I'm so uncomfortable and I don't want to be uncomfortable. And then suddenly I think, oh wait, I'm only uncomfortable because I don't want to feel something. That's the problem. And like after all these years of like, helping people in retreat, and also being in retreat myself, that's the biggest problem people have. You don't want to be touched by what arises in your life. The minute you realize that you allow it to touch you somehow, everything softens up. So you were saying yesterday, Kongtrul Rinpoche said something like, we're willing to take so much suffering. What did he say?
We're willing to tolerate so much suffering in the name of preserving like some very small idea of peace or happiness.
Yeah, or like who we are, whatever that is. It's such a small shift. And like, I know I've told this story before, but it's such a good story. So, when I was in my long retreat, all those years, and I went through a difficult period, and you go through difficult periods, it's guaranteed you're going to be uncomfortable, and sometimes it's really heavy. And I was practicing a sadhana of Guru Rinpoche, and it was dark, and I like dark, heavy feeling, and I could never I didn't feel connected to him, or I wanted to, though, so much longing, but I wasn't. And so I went to talk to Kongtrul Rinpoche, and I said, I'm not seeing the face of the deity. And he said, that all is the face of the deity. And then boom, this shift, because you're not rejecting it anymore. And then I went back to my cabin, and like all those weeks of suffering, it was just like that shift that you're talking about. It's how your mind is like rejecting and resisting. This is the biggest practice problem I feel people have.